Frieza Planet 79. Although several decades have passed since the demise of the tyrant Frieza, the memories of his reign of terror and the catastrophic events that followed are still in the minds of many. In a story, Beerus never came to Earth, and one where Goku hasn't been heard from since disappearing with Shenron.
What? This signal! Can it be? This is an urgent message to all troops. Lord Ice is about to be born. I repeat, Lord Ice is being born. Any troops nearby, hurry to greet him!
If the name alone wasn't enough of an indicator, a member of Frieza's race emerges, his eyes just as frigid as any of his predecessors. A soldier approaches him with a slightly nervous tone to his voice. "Congratulations on your birth, Lord Eyes! You've done a fine job thawing out for all these long years." Replying with an air of confusion.
Eyes? Is that my name?
"Yes, sir! Your late father, Lord Frieza, gave it to you."
I see.
The demon takes a moment to process all this, before the henchman again speaks up. "Not to rush you, Lord Eyes, but is there anything you need? If there's something you want, just ask."
Yes. Bring me a challenge.
"A challenge?"
I want to let loose all the power I've reserved over these long years of thawing. I can't stand just idling around.
With that command understood, Eyes' underling salutes and agrees they'll take him to a planet with powerful warriors immediately, while Eyes himself just kind of scoffs this off, lost in his own thoughts. He then also instructs one of them to bring him a cold drink too. "Yes, sir. I'll have one right out." The universe stands on the verge of an unparalleled threat, one beyond anything it's ever witnessed. Not only has the evil of Frieza's lineage returned, but in an impossible, more powerful way.
The son of Frieza.
Up until now, Goku and the others have faced countless mighty and formidable opponents, each more powerful than the last. And through every battle, they have pushed themselves to the absolute limits of their abilities. Time and time again, they have overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. They finally defeated their strongest enemy, Omega Shenron, after a long and grueling battle. The very earth trembled beneath the sheer force of their clashes, and the sky was filled with the brilliant light of the energy blast that illuminated the battlefield. 3 years have passed since that fierce fight. Back on Earth, outside a nice but modest home, a feminine voice in the distance can be heard. "Well, I'm off." A fatherly presence responding, "Watch out for airplanes," followed by an almost audible eye roll. "Right." Pan is now 16 years old. She's currently attending a high school in West City. Zooming through the sky, she spots a metropolis and thinks she better start descending, likely to not draw too much attention.
Hey, don't come any closer! Do it and I'll kill her!
Looks like the Pilaf gang are still up to their evil ways. Pilaf himself curses and asks why they have to do this. And this does seem like a huge step down from their once aspirations of world domination. Mai explains how they've got no choice. They've failed so many times that they don't have enough money left to live on. At least self-aware, Shu admits they really are the worst. Just like her mother and father, Pan can't stop herself from interfering and commands the villains to put down their weapons and surrender peacefully. If they resist, then they're gonna have to take her on. And it seems like she carries a reputation Videl once did as well. The crowd cheers. It's Pan! Everything will be alright. However, the Pilaf gang isn't so familiar. They bark back.
Who the hell are you? If you interfere, we won't hesitate to kill this girl.
So since it looks like they really want to get hurt, throwing out the white flag, Shu decides he's seen enough. He surrenders. With a sigh, Pan chastises that's what they should have done from the start. As she grabs her bag and gets ready to continue her morning, one of the nearby police officers thanks her for helping out as always. She modestly remarks how she'll leave the rest to them. She'll be late if she doesn't hurry up. With a salute. Great job! Take care now. At West High School, Orange Star High School, where Gohan and Videl attended, is located in Satan City. We see a small montage showing Pan excelling at everything from academics to athletics. So much so, one of her classmates has to comment how she's always so good at everything she does, causing Pan to ask what this is about. The girl meekly mutters it seems like Pan should be more popular than she is. Not exactly a compliment. The daughter of Gohan scolds to leave her alone. Well, with a fair point. Her grandpa is the world's strongest man. Even after all these years and everything that's happened, the world still believes Hercule to be something he isn't. She mentions how there are probably a ton of people stronger than her grandpa. In her head she thinks, Grandpa Satan that is. Another classmate replies, speaking of Satan, is it true that he recently decided on a successor? Which Pan confirms. It's Papaya Man. A shocking reveal to appears. If we remember back to Dragon Ball GT, which this story takes place a few years after, Buu and Oob merged to become a single life form once more. Hercule and Buu probably kept up their friendship in this capacity. Using his Papaya Man alias, he even competed in the 31st World Tournament before losing to Mr. Satan in the finals. The purple-haired student heard it was an unknown person named Oob. And yep, that's Papaya Man. Getting her all the more excited. She stands and is now yelling in response to the news. Before the teacher reprimands, she cut it out. Can't she be a little more quiet? Coming to her senses, she apologizes and promises to be more careful. Leaning back in her chair and reflecting upon her grandpa's lifestyle, Pan thinks about how Oob has taken on some pretty tiresome responsibilities. Diving back to the day this was announced, we find ourselves at the World Tournament. If the timeline adds up, this should be the 33rd installment. The announcer we've all come to know over his many years of service speaks to the audience. Let's begin the finals of the Tenkaichi Budokai Adult Division! Contestant Papaya Man was champion of the last tournament and is well known as the city's defender of justice. His opponent's Captain Beef is competing in the tournament today for the first time. Let's begin! Go! Not even wanting to give the crowd a show, Oob takes down his opponent with a single punch. The announcer bellows to all. Contestant Captain Beef looks incapable of fighting any further. So, contestant Papaya Man is the champion! When a gruff, familiar rumble can be heard emerging from the contestant tunnel.
Excuse me! If I could have your attention, everyone! Yeah!
None other than Mr. Satan himself emerges into the fighting area. The chants of his name could be heard barreling through the spectators, but with a somber look in his eyes.
This may be sudden, but I'm borrowing the stage a bit to tell everyone the news in person. I'm retiring as a martial artist.
Following this news, he then instructs Oob to take off his mask. Happily doing so. The announcer narrates this to the crowd. Apparently, nobody's ever seen his unhidden face before. The champ continues. I'm nominating Papaya. Oob here to be my successor. You all saw Oob's power just now. I've drilled all my martial arts into him. He'll definitely be able to protect everyone from now on. I'm truly grateful to have reached this point in my life. Thank you all for supporting me for so long. The crowd explodes in response to their hero's message. Various shouts can be heard, ranging from assuring he did a great job, they're in his debt, and he is still their hero. The display is enough to bring Mr. Satan to tears. Even Oob bows to show his proper respect and thank him for all he's done. An extra layer is added when you remember he's technically just a good human version of Kid Buu, who Hercule is able to help defeat by imploring these Earthlings to give their energy. Then considering how Buu and Oob merged, this means a large portion of Oob is still Hercule's best buddy. Oob then takes the mic. He introduces himself not as Papaya Man, but by his real name. He makes the promise to do his best to become as magnificent of a martial artist as Mr. Satan. The announcer taking his turn. He declares with that the Tenkaichi Budokai is concluded and for everyone to please have a safe journey home. Out in the cosmos, trying to satiate his thirst for a challenge. Ice bellows he won't be able to let out any of his power like this. Every single one of them just dies from the slightest touch. Fuming, he can't put up with this much longer. Please, calm yourself, Lord Ice. A henchman does his best to warn his new ruler, his voice trembling with urgency and fear. Inside, he knows Ice's power is so immense that the mere pressure alone could mean his own doom. When the thought comes to mind, come to think of it, there's a Saiyan who defeated Lord Frieza. I think his name was Son Goku? It's likely he could at least provide a little resistance. This evokes a pause in the demon's rage.
Son Goku,
He questions. The man who defeated his father. While he never met Frieza, clearly any fantasy that's been implanted into his head strikes a chord with him. Or, perhaps just like Frieza, he too has no emotional connection to his kin, but simply believes if he were powerful enough to defeat his predecessor. Now appearing fully settled down, this sounds interesting. He inquires what planet he's on. But not knowing offhand, the soldier takes to a scouter to look into it. With just a couple inquiries, he's able to discover it's a planet called Earth. It's located far on the frontier.
Earth. Well then, we'll head to this Earth right away.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Wait for me, Son Goku.
Little does he know, he's about to head to an Earth that hasn't seen or heard from Goku in several years now. Although it still has several formidable defenders. How will our heroes handle this threat without Goku by their side? At Capsule Corp. Vegeta had continued his training, reaching the point where he could become Super Saiyan 3. Assessing himself, the prince believes he's gotten pretty used to being in this form. However, it seems he can't become a Super Saiyan 4, no matter how he continues to train. Apparently, you do need a tail to achieve it after all. He grunts. Do I really have to rely on this thing? Revealing he still keeps the Bloodwave generator on hand, just in case. Either way, he vows to become even stronger. Surely Kakarot is definitely thinking the same. Setting down a cup, Bulma complains. Really now, I wish it'd cut that out. How long do Saiyans have to fight before they're finally satisfied? Vegeta's almost 60 now. Chi-Chi takes a sip as she's already figured he'll be like that until the day he dies. She knows in her heart Goku's out training somewhere too, and they don't hear from him one bit. A little surprised by this, Bulma beckons that even after all this time, Goku still hasn't come home. In fact, even worse, Chi-Chi's outright given up on him ever returning. The pair let out a collective sigh knowing this reality. Making his way down the hall, he crosses paths with his daughter Brawl, who questions if he's been training again. Not like he even has to answer, as his aroma could be detected from the other side of the house. She bluntly tells him, "Papa, you stink." Somewhere in West City, Goten sits on a park bench to catch a breather. If the symbol on his jacket's anything to go off, it appears he now works at Capsule Corp. Trunks zipping in, he casually greets his friend, who doesn't look too friendly. He hisses, "What do you mean, Trunks? I'm company president, your boss. Anyway, what are you doing here?" And just taking a little break. Trunks sighs he never changes. He further chastises for him not to forget that it's thanks to him he managed to get married. If he doesn't take his job seriously, he'll have him fired. For context, Goten had been told that Palace's father would only approve of her marrying someone who worked for a major corporation. So he had Trunks pull a few strings to get him a job at Capsule Corporation. He exudes a defeated sigh that it's just the same thing every day. He just doesn't feel motivated. But Trunks snips back asking what's going to happen if he doesn't give it his all. Not just for his own sake, but Palace's too. As he goes to respond, a phone begins to ring in his jacket. Her ear's burning apparently, it's Palace. Then with some shocking news. She reveals to Goten through a phone call no less that she's pregnant. If you remember Palace from GT, you'll recall she's unburdened with intellect. Here we see Goten is kind of the same as he asks his wife, "Really? And it's really mine?" He celebrates the good news regardless, leading to Trunks to give him the day off early given the circumstances. Goten promises his boss he'll do the best job he can from now on. Skipping away, Trunks has a hard time believing he's been best friends with such a simpleton all these years. At Gohan's place, in his library, he grabs half a dozen books as he makes his way off the ladder. He says to himself, "All right, now I've got all my reference material in one place." When he suddenly senses something. What? What is this key? Something is heading for Earth. Vegeta too. And the boys. It's not even lost on Panaru. Something is approaching. Speeding towards our home, Ice chuckles to himself.
So that's Earth, huh?
Barely able to contain his excitement, the demon trembles as he declares,
All right then, let's see if you can keep me amused, son Goku.
Rushing towards the source, Gohan wonders who this could be. There's no way this ends well. Above the planet, a henchman alerts their lord they've arrived at Earth. To greet him, our heroes have all gathered in a scene that mirrors Mecha Frieza's arrival. Vegeta believes they should be coming down around here. And Pan? Before Gohan even gets the chance, Trunks scolds her asking what she came here for. But after sensing that incredible key, how could she not? He retorts that it could be someone really dangerous. She better go home. But she's not budging. She argues that she's a Saiyan child just like Trunks, so she'll fight too. When Oob taps down. With his usual warm smile, he greets everyone, admitting it's been a while since he's seen them all. Then finally, Gohan makes it to the scene, spotting everyone from a distance. Just as he hits the ground to meet his friends, Vegeta announces they're here! The ship lands just over the horizon. When Gohan realizes, haven't I seen that somewhere before? That looks just like Frieza's ship! Leading Goten to the conclusion, so it's Frieza? But no, this guy's ki is vastly larger. It's someone else. The prince suggests they go now. There's no point in just mulling things over. As Ai's forces disembark, the demon himself gets a look at his surroundings.
So this is Earth. Not bad.
Turning to his men,
Let's find Son Goku. Where is he?
as his men look into it, their scouters going off, they detect 6 large battle powers. They're close by.
What?
Our hero's approaching the fiend head on. He scoffs in confusion.
Who are you people?
Who are we? Just who the hell are you? Vegeta retorts. One of the soldiers recognizes him. Why? You're that traitor Vegeta, aren't you? Why are you here? With that, Vegeta figures these guys are just Frieza's underlings, prompting the man to chime back. Watch your tongue! This gentleman over here is Lord Frieza's son, Lord Eyes. But Frieza's son? What business does Frieza's son have on Earth? Who straightforwardly tells he's come to kill a man named Son Goku, the one who killed his father. Resulting in an audible laugh from Vegeta and not bothering to correct him. So you've come for revenge? Don't make me laugh. You're all nothing but a bunch of Frieza's goons. However, Aiz assures the prince he misunderstands him. He merely seeks a worthy challenge. He has no interest in revenge. In that case, Vegeta's happy to take him on, causing a curious bulk from the demon.
Are you strong?
The Saiyan's eyes narrow. Of course! Much more so than the man you seek. The invader finds this to be an interesting prospect, asking him to show him his power. With a grin, Vegeta snickers he's going to regret this. Turning his back to the others, he demands nobody else interfere. He will do this alone, despite the protests from Goten and Trunks. Not playing games, Vegeta jumps straight to his most powerful transformation, Super Saiyan 3. Quite the reveal for the others, asking the villain if he's ready.
Whenever you wish.
Annoyed with their back and forth, Ice shouts,
Splendid! You're the greatest yet! I've never faced such a worthy opponent before!
Vegeta doesn't share his sentiments. With a scowl, he thinks to himself, what the? His power is far greater than Frieza's. There's no comparison. This can't be.
Gohan, can you hear me?
Piccolo, now Guardian of Hell, contacts Gohan, who asks if it's really him.
That's right. It's been a long time. I'm speaking to you from the afterlife. Frieza has informed me of something terrible.
Something terrible? Piccolo goes on to say that Frieza and his family come from planet Winter. Immediately after being born, people there cover themselves with ice and enter a thawing period. The longer this thawing period lasts, the stronger the warrior will be. And it seems that in Frieza's case, this thawing period lasted 5 years, while King Cold it lasted 6. And so, Aiza's thawing period was over 50 years long.
Well then, how about you entertain me a little more?
Frieza cackling at the sight of his offspring's progression. He grins ear to ear as he takes it all in. It looks like he's grown up splendidly. Such an adorable child. Now I'll finally have my revenge on those pitiful Saiyans. Then with Gohan, he continues to try to process Piccolo's words. 50 years! Which means that he's 10 times stronger than Frieza? The Namekian relents that it's something like that, but he's way more powerful than 10 Friezas. He doesn't like this. Piccolo warns Gohan not to play games. They need to attack him altogether. Who assures he understands. He has the same feeling. Tossing off his coat, he calls over to Vegeta. We'll help too! Predictably, the prince scoffs that he's not going to rely on a bunch of slackers like them. He alone is more than enough on his own. So they can just watch and keep quiet. Taking the familial stance, Ice chimes in.
Well then, let's continue. I'm looking forward to seeing just how powerful you are.
Vegeta concedes that it looks like the demon is more capable than he thought. He underestimated him a little. But now it's time for the main event.
Tell me that was your true power.
Aiza's voice cuts through the fading shockwaves of the battle, laced with a cool condensation. His tone doesn't exactly rise, but has the confidence of someone who is yet to feel threatened.
If so, I'm quite disappointed.
But rather than boil with rage at the insult, an equally confident smirk spreads across his face. His aura humming low and steady for a brief moment. His silence says even more than words. Relax. This still isn't all of my power. He admits with the faintest edge of irritation. I never thought I'd have to use this just to deal with the likes of you. Without turning his head, he shouts behind him. Trunks! Vegeta opens a capsule revealing a small, sleek device. With a swift motion, he tosses it over. Trunks catches it without missing a beat, though confusion's already on his face. He looks down at the strange invention in his hands. What is this? It's a handheld Blitzwave generator. I had Bulma make it. Blitzwave? So that means... Dad, don't tell me! Vegeta steps forward, the smirk returning as his energy starts to rise. Alright then, let's go! Yes, sir! Now fully powered, his energy surging and crackling. He's tapped into Super Saiyan 4. The ground beneath him fracturing. Thanks for waiting. Now I'll show you what happens when I get serious. You're gonna regret this. But across from, Eyes doesn't flinch. He observes the transformation, his expression only slightly impressed.
That's quite a strange transformation for an Earthling.
This shows he hasn't really bothered to learn much about the people who defeated his father.
Alright then, let's start round 2.
Final shine! Attack! Lord Eyes! As the tide of the battle shifts, the great tyrant begins to falter.
He can't be this strong.
The sheer force being exchanged on the battlefield sends shockwaves across the terrain. And missed it all, Oob watches with wide eyes, barely able to believe what he's witnessing. This is incredible. Too incredible. Is Lord Eyes okay? Not far from the chaos, Eyes' loyal henchmen begin to panic. The confidence they once had in their leader, his absolute dominance, is starting to crack. They watch as their so-called invincible ruler struggles to withstand the blows raining down on him.
This is bad. If we don't treat him right away.
For the first time, they realize Lord Eyes might actually lose. Though bruised and battered and clearly showing signs of wear, Eyes still manages to stay on his feet. Just letting all of this fall off his shoulders like it doesn't matter. His posture becomes relaxed. That cocky smirk even returns.
Quite frankly, I didn't think you'd be this good. Well then, I'll get a little serious myself.
Serious? He's saying he hasn't been serious up until now. And that's right. Vegeta scoffs. Ha! Don't make me laugh! If you're going to be a poor loser and bluff like that, you can at least make it more realistic. Gohan, though standing at a distance, watches with increasing dread. Unlike Vegeta, he doesn't scoff. He barely speaks. It can't be! Transforming! There's no mistaking it now. The energy pouring from eyes is like nothing before. Dense, suffocating, unnatural. There's no way! But it's not like Frieza. It's not a method of containing his true strength or masking his final form. It's the opposite. Where Frieza once suppressed his power through transformations, Aiza's mechanic works in reverse. Will Super Saiyan 4 be enough to handle it? Or has Vegeta's pride once again put us all in a very bad situation? Aiz finishes his transformation, his power now radiating like a tidal wave, before he smiles with an unsettling calm.
I've gotten a little stronger. Please don't die too easily.
Newly transformed, Lord Aiz stands over the ruined landscape, his imposing form pulsing with raw, effortless power. That wicked grin remains carved deep in his face, as if he's savoring the moment before getting to release some more pent-up energy.
All right, are you ready to fight?
Ha! The words leave his mouth like a challenge already won. Vegeta steadies himself without a vocal answer, just a scoff with his frustration of the situation growing. The sound is strained but defiant, the warrior's breath forcing its way through fracturing pride. As the beast readies himself, Gohan knows in his heart, Piccolo was right! We should have attacked him all together! Knowing he should have been more assertive and not wasting opportunity appeasing Vegeta's ego. Behind you! Crashes down like a meteor. Chunks of stone and dirt blast outward. Dust turns above the impact zone. Trunks shouts, his voice strained with panic. There's no answer. There's barely even movement. Gohan tears his glance away, his fingers moving swiftly to his collar, his jaw clenched and heart racing. He yanks his tie loose and tosses it aside. Enough pride. Enough waiting. He calls to the others they can't hold back anymore. If they don't all act together, they're going to fail. The others agree. Trunks hands the Blessed Wave generator over to Pan. Then addressing Goten, he wants to fuse. Fusion! I'll show
fight training! Let's go, Luke! Right!
Oh, is it over already? What? Do you guys want to play with me too?
Away from the fight, Gohan utters over to his daughter. He tells her to fire that gun at him. Though she worries he'll turn into an Uzaru if he's exposed to the Blast Waves, remembering back to the events of GT. While he understands this, he knows he can't defeat him the way he is now. It's an all-or-nothing gamble. But he's gonna have to become a Super Saiyan 4 as well. She questions if he thinks it'll really work, and he does. That's why he wants her to help him. He explains, when Vegeta came to Earth, I transformed into an Uzaru. At the time, I heard Krillin and Father's voices. Perhaps because of my Earthling blood, I have a high chance of regaining my senses. Continuing that becoming a Super Saiyan 4 is a matter of transforming into an Uzaru, and then coming to your senses. So when he becomes a Great Ape, he wants her to call out to him, just like his father and Krillin did, just like she did for her grandfather. Given she's his daughter, he believes that her voice should definitely get through to him. With the plan understood, he smiles he's counting on her. Taking aim, they don't waste a second.
What is that huge monkey?
Gohan's becoming Uzaru!
As her father instructed, Pan yells after him.
It's me! Pan! Can't you tell? It's your daughter, Pan! Papa, come to your senses! Papa!
Successfully turning into a Super Saiyan 4. Gohan thanks his child. It's all thanks to her. Now like this, he can fight too. Even though he's kinda getting his butt whooped, Vegeta snarls at the fact he was able to transform right away. A little more positive, Oop shouts, "Incredible! Gohan's a Super Saiyan 4 too! Now we can manage something!" He barks over to Vegeta for them all to fight together. Brushing off his ego. Kinda. The prince scoffs that he can't believe they're having such a hard fight against some of Frieza's leftovers. He takes his stance and warns Gohan to try not to drag him down.
Let's go!
In hell, Frieza can only gasp in horror at what he's seen. His lineage. His revenge. He's starting to see this could be just another humiliation handed to him by the Saiyans he so desperately despises. Piccolo gasps.
They did it?
On Earth, but away from the battle, the ground rumbles beneath Tien. He stammers. Unbelievable! I've never felt such powerful ki before. Chaozu echoes a statement. The pair can only wonder what's going on. A calm breeze sifts over the wasteland. Gohan steadies himself, each breath labored and drawn deep into his chest. As the battle haze begins to lift, his gaze sweeps the battlefield. He thinks it's over. He wants to believe it's over. But the look on his face hints at his hesitation. Vegeta brushes the grime from his face with the back of his glove. He mutters aloud that it took longer than he thought, his voice undercut by a tinge of exhaustion. All around him, Lord Aiza's soldiers remain frozen in place. Their confident sneers are now gone, replaced with eyes agape, trembling hands, and the silent horror of witnessing something beyond their expectations. They can only look on in terror. When the calm, albeit deafening footsteps of the villain could be heard emerging from the chasm. This can't be. He looks totally unfazed. This is impossible. He's a monster.
I've had enough fun. Thank you. I've managed to work off some stress. Let me offer you a small present in return. I'll put you all out of your misery with my true form. It will only take an instant, so you won't have to suffer.
But, Vegeta stutters, did he say his true form?
Ha! Allow me to show it to you.
On the world of the Kais. It seems Shushiguro's still lingering around this realm after all these years, just carelessly running around chasing butterflies. Right as Kibito Kai raises his voice, calling for Old Kai. Unsurprisingly, he's likely been keeping a close eye on Earth and the situation currently unfolding there through the ever-watchful lens of his crystal ball. However, the so-called Reverend Ancestor is busy bird watching. Kibito Kai scolds. Is this any time to be doing that? Completely oblivious, he annoyedly questions what's gotten him so worked up and in such a huff all of a sudden. Who informs his elder he really shouldn't be so easygoing and carefree. Terrible, disastrous things are happening on Earth right now, right at this very moment. Terrible things, huh? Though the old-timer doesn't look particularly amused to have his hobbies interrupted, his successor keeps going. It turns out that Frieza, that guy who tried to take over the galaxy a while ago, had a son. That son is now seeking strong opponents to challenge, namely Goku. In other words, he's come straight to Earth. But is that all there is to it? Okai believes he's surely no match for warriors like Vegeta or Son Gohan. And well, it seems he's exponentially stronger than Frieza ever was, and they're having quite a tough and brutal fight. Looking for himself, he peers through the ball to see eyes still in his second form. Sure enough, it really does seem pretty bad. Kabutokai then questions if there's no way they can lend a hand. Unfortunately, no. Not really, the old man quietly admits. While Kabutokai balks, saying that can't be. We have to remember it's more or less universally frowned upon to interfere in the mortal realm. On top of that, there's literally just not much they can do against someone so overwhelmingly powerful. As the two sit together in silence momentarily, the Supreme Kai mentions, "So we've really got no choice but to revive Son Goku." After another brief pause, the Elder thinks even that's no use. Presently, reviving him is impossible. As much as he wants to do something, they've probably got no choice left but to leave it all up to Vegeta and Son Gohan. Defiant, his fellow Kai argues that their opponent is unimaginably strong, no matter how skilled those two may be. Though he's cut off, old Kaio interrupts. Well, if they can't overcome a trial of this scale, then the Earth will be done for either way. A bewildering statement. What exactly does that mean? But he doesn't want to get into it right now. He will understand in time. At any rate, all they can do is quietly watch over him. A resolution that only really sits well with one of them. However, it doesn't go unnoticed that the Earth sure does get itself into a bunch of pinches, doesn't it? At Kame House, the water gently laps against the shore, cooling the sun-baked golden sand that encircles the lone, quiet dwelling in the middle of the sea. It's here where Roshi also does some bird watching. He cackles to Krillin that hot girls sure are great, but not nearly as laid back, and with a bemoaning sigh, he adds how the old hermit is just as relaxed as ever. There have been huge keys violently clashing together for quite a while now. It looks like something bad is happening again. His wife glances in his direction, almost casually brushing it off. Probably, she scoffs. I don't think I need to tell you not to go doing anything rash. And he knows that he can't do anything truly useful anymore anyway. Roshi nudges him gently, telling him not to be so downbeat. Don't let the gloom take over. If the Earth goes, we'll all die too. Unfortunately, we'll just have to rely on Vegeta and Gohan. And he knows this, he really does. But at a time like this, if only Goku were here. Prompting his daughter to tilt her head and ask if he's really dead, seemingly unsure one way or the other. Krillin responds, "Yeah, probably." Back at the battlefield.
Watch very closely! This is my true form!
It's impossible! How can it be so high? It's all over! He can't be someone like this!
Pan! Get away! It's already too late! There's no escaping him. He's starting to come into view.
Somewhat predictably, Aiza's final form bears a clear resemblance to his father's infamous xenomorph-like iteration. Still never getting his own planet back, King Kai watches the fight from Otherworld regardless. In this eyes, he's strong. Too strong. How in the world could he possibly be so powerful? And who would have ever thought that Frieza had a son? It might all be over. Not just for the Earth, but for the entire universe too. Now that Goku's not here, there's no hope left in defeating him. The ground pulses with dread. A guttural hum builds in every direction. A black aura emits from eyes as Gohan's eyes remain locked on the monstrous figure before him. Aiza then speaks almost mockingly.
No need to be so frightened. It'll all be over soon enough anyway.
Abruptly, the lesser warriors begin falling en masse. Even Pan is affected. She huddles over, whimpering it hurts. Gotenks grits his teeth. Sparks of electric ki still crackling around him. He reacts to the immense pressure flooding the area. It's Aiza's stupendous ki that's causing people with weaker wills to pass out. A few feet away, Oob staggers, his breathing uneven and shallow. He's barely hanging on and his voice cracks as he mutters. We're done for.
fired that Kamehameha full force. How could he deflect it so easily? There's nothing I can do. Not even with that caliber of Kamehameha. Her levels are just too different.
Knocking our heroes around without mercy. Vegeta thinks to himself it's hopeless. This is the end of the Earth. There's no way out of this one. I can't win. Somehow, through sheer will picking himself up from the broken, dust-covered ground, Gohan meets Aiza's deadly glare once again. Running out of options and with time slipping away fast, he knows he won't be able to protect the Earth like this. Once again, he's left with no answers. He calls silently on his father for guidance. What should he do? Far away from the battlefield, tucked within the sacred peace of Otherworld, the pair continue to hunch tightly over their glowing crystal ball. Kibito Kai's voice cracks the silence. Reverend Ancestor, this is bad. At this rate, they'll be killed. He turns to the old man beside him, begging once more that there's no other way. They have to revive Goku, right now! But the Elder Kai doesn't answer immediately. His jaw tightens with inner conflict. Part of him knows he's right, but right now, Goku is. Suddenly, Kibito Kai yells again. He declares that Goku should definitely be able to manage something in a situation like this. They need to bring him back now before it's too late. Still, the old man says nothing. The Supreme Kai tries again, raising his voice in frustration, trying to provoke a response. He remains rooted, as if lost in a deep well of contemplation. Not even the desperation in his fellow Kai's voice seems to shake him. Then finally, the old-timer drops his head and takes a deep breath. I understand. But even as the words fall from his lips, one question still hangs over the rest of us. Just where is Goku? Ugh.
He's so fast! I couldn't see those attacks at all!
You think you can run away? Don't be so anxious. I'll kill you soon enough.
She has nothing to do with this!
As Pan is frozen with terror, Hakai screams, "Reverend Ancestor, we have to do something!" Who at last agrees. But on Earth... Damn it! I'm out of power!
Stop it, Eyes! Pan! Pan?
We're too late!
It's terrible. Pan's key just disappeared. Go.
Huh. What's a weak little thing?
I'll kill you!
Looks like you've changed forms again. I wonder, have you gotten a little more with my time?
How dare you do that to Pan? There's no way you're getting away with this! Reverend Ancestor, what in the world is this? Could it be? Ugh.
Impossible! This can't be!
Witnessing Pan's death, Gohan's anger has exploded. But will this new transformation be enough to defeat such a strong opponent? On the lookout. Dende stares down to the world below, clutching his wooden staff tightly. His eyes tremble while fixed on something he can't directly see, but sense all too well. Incredible! This is Son Gohan! He breathes, the awe in his voice barely contained. Behind him, Mr. Popo shares the same expressions. Dende goes on, even more rattled than before. The whole earth is shaking because of his ki. Popo utters, his face wrought with tension. When Gohan loses something important, he totally loses his reason. I can feel an incredible will to kill in his ki. The Guardian knows this too as he responds. With this, he can beat Aiza's perfect form. And yet, even that glimmer of hope is tainted by a devastating realization. But we can't use the Earth's Dragon Balls now. So that means we can't bring Pan back to life. The lookout feels colder. The truth crushes what little comfort they had left. Goku, what should I do?
You bastard! Incredible! He was still hiding that much power!
With the Kaios. Reverend Ancestor, what the heck is Gohan's transformation?
This is... It looks like Gohan's anger released his hidden power. This shape is what we'll call Super Saiyan 5.
Kibito Kai recoils in shock, his voice bursting with disbelief. Super Saiyan 5? Beside him, the space lemur stares ahead. He too trying to comprehend the overwhelming power they're sensing.
So, this is the Super Saiyan 5. So it means he's stronger.
The old-timer explains. When Gohan forcibly became a Super Saiyan 4, his potential started to release. In fact, it looks like it was fully awakened by Pan's death. With this, the Earth will be okay, Reverend Ancestor? Kibito Kai questions, still holding on to hope. His senior thinks deep on his response, even if just for a moment.
For now, it looks like the danger is out of the way.
However, while Old Kai seems confident the battle's over, we've seen Gohan let his hubris get the better of him before. Will this prove he's finally learned from his mistakes against Cell and Majin Buu? now almost shaking, subconsciously grinds his teeth. A low growl builds in his throat.
It's impossible for such a guy to exist! All of my strength is useless against him! This can't happen! I won't let this happen! I'll settle this now with my full power! This planet! I'll make it disappear! What?
I'll never forgive a monster like you! Pan! You killed her as if she were merely an insect! You're nothing but trash!
Disappear!
With that, Eyes is no more. Gohan drops to his knees, the dust around him billowing from the impact. His body quivers, muscles battered, skin torn, blood still trailing from his wounds. All pale to the sorrow he feels inside. Vegeta and Gotenks watch from a distance, giving him a moment. In hell, Frieza's furious voice echoes across the desolate expanse. His fists tremble with rage as he stares into the void between realms.
You must be kidding! We lost to a Saiyan again?!
Piccolo stands silently at the edge of the rocky plateau.
Gohan, you did well. But for Pan to, we can't... I'm sorry. I'm so powerless.
In the land of the living, Gohan sits bruised and broken, still reeling from everything. Victorious, sure, but there's little celebration to be had. No words are spoken, just the sounds of a broken father. Trunks holds Pan gently in his arms, her body limp. Gohan, for the time being, let's get our wounds healed at the lookout. Goten, take Oob with you. North Kai relaxes his shoulders.
It seems over for now. However, the situation could become troublesome again soon.
Oob gasps, his chest rising violently as air floods back into his lungs. Asking if he's okay. Oob jolts up. Everyone! I'm fine! Where's Eyes? Then we see Dende can regrow people's limbs as he heals Trunks' severed hand. He tells how Gohan, still extremely distant, managed to defeat him. Oob's eyes go wide as he processes what he just heard. Gohan! How in the world did you defeat such a strong guy? A fair but unknowingly heavy question. Nonetheless, Trunks quietly fills him in regardless. Finally speaking, Gohan looks over to the Guardian of Earth and asks if he's really sure they can't use the Dragon Balls anymore. Dende turns to Gohan with a pained look. The Dragon Balls? Well, there is a way. However, right now the Dragon Balls are...
Hey, Son Gohan!
Simultaneously, everyone hears an elderly voice holler. Gohan looks up, startled but attentive, recognizing the voice immediately. This voice! Is it the old Kaioshin-sama? Yes, I know everything about the current situation. I understand your feelings very well too. But, for now, I have something to tell you about the Dragon Balls. I'll start with the conclusion. You can't use the Dragon Balls now. Gohan gathers his focus, making sure he understands fully. You said now. Does that mean we will be able to use them at some point? His elder nudges him not to be so hasty. He'll explain everything he knows in order. So now, to start with the beginning. This story started 3 years ago. When you guys fought against Omega Shenron. The Elder Kai's voice drifts into memory. And with it, the image of Goku lying motionless in the rubble. Goku died. What? He died? But back in that memory, Goku's eyes weakly flutter under his eyelids. The energy! I need everyone's energy! I'm not dead yet! When Shenron, coiled and glowing with his divine power.
Son Goku, I'll lend you my strength, but there is a condition for this.
A condition?
The current situation is the reality that you all have created. That is why it must be resolved with your hands. In short, it means you will have to take responsibility in place of the Earth.
Goku smiles and answers without hesitation. Me? If that's the case, I'll do whatever I can.
Understood. Well then, you'll have to give me your body, if that's okay with you.
Goku exhales slowly, voice steady despite the weight of what he's agreed to. Understood. Please do so.
Very well.
Back at the battlefield, debris begins to rise, caught in a swirl of raw power. Energy pulses outward from the crater. His trust full in his longtime rival, Vegeta chuckles to Omega Shenron. You've lost! Whose stunned face of a once triumphant foe twists into horror.
You're still alive?
Goku rises slowly from the crater, dirt and rock floating all around him, his smile full of fire. I'm not dead yet! Not until I beat you! Thus using Shenron's strength, Goku successfully defeated Omega Shenron. The final blast tearing through the darkness, light overtaking the shadows. Elder Kai's voice returns, framing it all.
At least, that's what it looks like.
But after using Shenron's strength, Goku had to take responsibility with his own body. The negative energy was sealed back inside the Dragon Balls using Goku's positive energy. In short, to prevent the negative energy from being released again, Goku sacrificed himself. With the revelation of Goku giving his very self to prevent another disaster involving the Dragon Balls, what will our heroes have to do now in order to restore everything back to normal?